"Sir, you can't take that through here." The voice came from behind the airline counter, calm but firm, a supervisor, clipboard in hand, already motioning to security. The man in uniform didn't move. His gloved hand rested on the flag-draped casket beside him. He stood still, silent, staring forward like the terminal didn't even exist. "Sir, I said you need to step back from the cargo." No response, not a blink, not a breath wasted, just one man, immovable in dress blues, standing watch. Passengers slowed their steps, phones lowered, conversations died in mid-air. A strange stillness settled over Gate C-29, the kind you can't explain, only feel. The supervisor took a cautious step closer. "You're not cleared to be on the tarmac, and you're not supposed to touch the container." That word, container, hung in the air like an insult. The man finally spoke. Low, controlled. "With all due respect, sir, this is not cargo." He turned his head slightly, just enough for his voice to carry. "This is a soldier, and I will not leave him." The tension cracked, like a glass about to shatter. A TSA agent stepped forward, annoyed. "Look, we've got procedures. You're holding up operations." The guard's eyes met his, calm, measured. "There are procedures, and then there is honor." He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. Behind him, the flag on the casket stayed perfectly smooth. No creases, no corners lifted. Just red, white, and blue, folded over silence. Underneath that flag was Sergeant Benjamin Cole, 24, killed in action 2 weeks ago. He didn't make it home standing, but the man beside him wasn't just an escort, he was his commander. The one who trained with him, who laughed with him, who watched over him in fire and chaos, and now in peace. The Marine Corps had given him one last mission. Never let go of the casket, not once. Not until it's home. But the airport didn't understand that. They had gates to clear, baggage to move, timetables to keep. One box, one delay. One unmarked coffin didn't seem worth the fuss. "Sir, I'm asking you again. Step away or we'll have to remove you." The uniformed man could have recited the protocol, could have quoted the code of the Sentinel's watch, could have reminded them that this wasn't policy, it was a promise. But instead, he remembered. He remembered Ben's laugh on deployment, the stories he told about his little sister's piano recitals, his mother's home-cooked chili, the tattoo he wanted but never got. He remembered carrying Ben once, half limp after he'd been thrown by a blast, but still alive, still smiling, and now he was carrying him again. For the last time. Then a voice pierced the silence. "Mommy, why is he touching the flag?" A little girl, maybe 6, clutched her teddy bear as she stared up at the Marine. Her mother hushed her, but the guard looked down and gave the faintest nod. "Because," he said softly, "he's not letting someone be forgotten." And that was when something shifted. The supervisor took a step back. The TSA agent looked down. A mechanic behind the window removed his hat. A man near the gate rose quietly to his feet. Someone whispered, "He's bringing him home." The Marine bent slightly toward the casket, his voice barely above a whisper. "This man gave everything. This flag isn't a decoration, it's a promise." And then he moved. One slow step, then another. His hand never left the casket. He walked with it, not around it, not ahead of it, but with it. Down the terminal, past waiting crowds, past frozen agents. He didn't wait for approval. He didn't ask for permission. Because duty doesn't ask. People rose to their feet. Hats came off. Hands went to hearts. One man in a wheelchair lifted a trembling salute. Tears slid down cheeks. Children fell silent. Phones recorded, but not for views, for remembrance. Then softly, someone began to sing. The national anthem, low and reverent. Others joined. Not loud, not in perfect key, just honest. And there, in the middle of a crowded airport, time stopped. By the time they reached the gate where the family waited, the Marine's shoulders were soaked with sweat. His back ached, his throat burned, but he didn't stop. Not until he placed the casket gently in front of them. The mother collapsed. The father stood tall, then broke, his hand shaking in salute. The sister fell to her knees. "Welcome home, Ben," she whispered. The Marine stood over them in silence. Then, and only then, he removed the flag, folded it, perfect corners, sharp lines. He knelt and placed it in the mother's hands. "He didn't die alone," he said quietly. "He was seen. He was honored." He stood. The family clutched the flag like breath, and as he turned to leave, the airport manager, face pale, eyes wet, stepped forward. I didn't understand," he said. "I'm sorry." The Marine paused, gave a single respectful nod. "Now you do." Applause followed, not thunderous, but respectful, steady, like footsteps of a nation remembering how to stand still. Because in that moment, America didn't move forward. It stood still, for one soldier, one guard, one promise.